individual toggles this time. We already know about the global toggles macro in the root of the MPB that affects everybody. But if you just want certain features to affect you and nobody else, this is what this menu is for. So we will start off with something simple. Say you go off to get some chips or something, and you need to tell your gaming group, yeah, I'm not going to be available for the next minute or two. You can do that with this toggle AFK. There's a quick button for it. Stands for away from keyboard. And it will put an effect on you, a label effect, which we see right there. Just stepped away for a moment under the Vanny token. So that looks good. Yeah, you can verbally say on Discord, I'm away for a second or two, or you can type in the chat. That's what my brother does. But this is a little better because it's more high profile, I guess. You get a reminder state on you, and it will interact with the send macro facility and let whoever know that's sending the macro to you that, okay, you're not there. So they say, oh, okay, he must have stepped away or whatever. So that's good. And any button, doesn't matter what it is, you can do common free no, will indicate that you're back, because if you click a button, that means you're back. So it takes the state off you, the effect off you, as you see right there. So that looks good. So next, we have a treat for all you D&D 5e fans. Toggle D20 choice mode. That's what I call it. Choose 5e mode. You will know it as advantage or disadvantage, or you can choose, which is the default. It'll give you two numbers and say, hey, which one do you want to choose? But let's try advantage. That's kind of simple. And that registers the effect on your token. And now that's a signal to whatever rolls a d20 through Rumble Eval, which we will do now. We will do a base save through Rumble Eval, which rolls a d20 and gives us a 16. But how does it give us that 16? Let's look at the chat. We see some output here. It says advantage choosing from 3 and 16. I guess we'd much rather have the 3 if we're attacking something we're going to hit. So we'll say okay. That's fine. And that will stay on. Don't forget to turn it off if it's no longer applicable. So we'll go toggle D20 choice mode, and running it again turns any of these toggles off. So the choose mode advantage has now been removed from that token. Next, we have toggle hand prompt. I won't actually do this because Vanny only has one type of weapon. If you have a weapon in your main hand and a different weapon in your off hand, then you can use this. And every time you do a melee attack of any kind against a single target, it's going to ask you, do you want to use your main hand for this attack or the offhand? That can get a little annoying. So don't forget to turn that off either. Toggle media unsubscribe. We've already seen this. It stops handouts and sound effects from reaching you. I don't recommend that because I think handouts and sounds are a cool part of the framework. So toggle mercy mode. This is if you don't want to kill a guy. So let's say we have that on us and that this guy is at death's door. This top skeleton is down to 3 hit points. Let's see what happens when we try to kill him. So we will go, first of all, make him visible so we can attack him. And then we will go Stormwalk, let's say. It will automatically select him and give us the 2 hit. Let's make sure that we hit. That hits. And it does damage. And yeah, that's definitely going to kill him. Let's see what happens. It will give the dead state on him, but we won't do the kill moan, but it gives us this prompt: kill bony guy red. It wouldn't do that otherwise. It would just kill him. So we will say no and say what happens. He's already got the dead state. In combat, he'll actually go to unconscious. It will try to register those states, unconscious, but it won't be able to do it because we are outside combat now and it's only a temporary effect. I'll look a bit closer into the appropriateness of that mechanic, but that's the the way that goes. So we will go to the next. That won't actually affect anything. So let's go to, oh, please run disengage on Bony Guy Red. All right, so I should explain this. First of all, always look at the chat if a menu or whatever is not coming up, that means you're doing something wrong. What it's saying here is please run disengage on Bony Guy Red. This guy is going to cause some interference with the battle if he stays on. So disengaging dead tokens is very important. So click on him, click disengage, and he should go to the grave. Again, when it's combat. But since it's not, he just stays there. That's good. And now let's try clicking on toggles, and it will let us. So we will go to toggle mount next. Now we need to set this up. We can't have him try to mount. Well, first of all, let's go to health and get this guy back on his feet by doing extended rest. That completely resets the token there. So he's ready to go again. And we'll say that the bottom guy is large sized. So we'll go large. And if you are standing next to him, you can actually mount him. Let's pretend he's a horse or something, or better yet, a Pegasus. That's cool. Let's pretend he's a Pegasus. And we can go on to the smaller guy, red, and actually go toggle mount. Toggles macro. Oh, okay. You know why that is? We can't find him because he needs to be visible too. You can't climb onto a invisible mount. So that's the context sensitivity then. Again, if there is more than one, it would give us a choice. But since there's only one guy, only one mount, it's going to give us the Bony Guy Blue choice. And he snaps to Bony Guy Blue. So red is now riding blue. Now watch this. You might think you need to select both of these guys and move them in tandem. You can do that if you want to, but this is cooler. You can grab red, the rider, and move him to where you want him to go. Watch this. See that? The mount snaps to where he is. So that's how that works. But remember, it's a Pegasus. So Bony Guy Red says, hey, let's fly up there. So we can go altitude on red. We don't need to worry about the mount, the Pegasus, and go 4. Let's say okay. Look at that. Both of them get the flying state, and look at their stat sheet. 4 and 3. So red is riding on top of Bony Guy Blue, so he's 1 lower. But they are treated as one entity as per the rules. If you are standing to the southeast over here at altitude 3, for example, and you run a range equals 1 power, you might think, well, okay, it'll automatically target Bony Guy Blue because he's in range, but red is in the top left corner and he's out of range. No. It will target both of them. It'll give you a chance to hit both of them. So choose targets macro is written now. So it's smart enough to know that. So let's see what else we can do with toggles. We can go OA immunity. We've seen that actually for the shift macro in the tactical video. It automatically does OA immunity if you do something that does not provoke, which is of course what shift is. But if you want to do it manually, then you use that. We rarely do that because the importer is pretty smart. It will detect macros that confer OA immunity and automatically register that for you. Toggle radio menus, that's kind of cool. So let's say you don't like the list box, like this list box right here that we're looking at. You say, that's an extra click. It's kind of annoying. I just want to do 1 click in the menu. You do this, toggle radio menus. Say, okay. and that gets registered on Bony Guy Red, radio menus AC. So he, watch this, when he wants to run health, for example, look at that. We don't have to click a down arrow here to see all the options. We can actually run status if we wanted to straight away. And that's it. That's all we have to choose. Now, there's no pretty token image to the left of the choices, but you take the good with the bad. And if you really like radio menus, you might want to attach that as an initiative event through trigger definitions under power management, and it'll do that all the time for you whenever you enter combat. And that's the status macro, which we have seen before, so it does run properly. All right, next we have select mode. Now, let's say we want to attack Vanny, and we don't want to rely on choose targets searching within the specified range. We can do this. We can say toggles and toggle select mode. Say OK. Sometimes this gets put on you by accident. Just run this, toggle select mode, to take it off, to deregister the toggle. Or you can do remove effect from the MPB if your DM does that, or undo effects, of course. Now we want to actually click. Basically what select mode is the OSP, object selection procedure. So you click on the skeleton, hold down the shift key, click on Vanny, and this is the way in select mode we target tokens. So it's only going to consider those. So we go to the skeleton warrior and we go at will and we get an error. We try to outsmart the framework just now. We say, I know this is only a range equals 1, but haha, I've got select mode. I'll just select him and now I'll be able to attack him. No, framework's too smart for that. It says no targets found within range. Just because you're using select mode, it doesn't mean it absolves you of following the rules. You still have to follow the rules. Now let's talk about this. When the choose targets, no targets found within range error is tripped, it will give these bolded options at the end. And that's how we know that something is amiss. So select equals all or select mode. Excuse me. So these are the options in effect, and you say, aha, select mode. Well, no, let's take that off. So we will go back up, and we will run it again. And select mode is gone. Silent running mode. This is I won't actually do this. This is if you run this. This is to run your macros without outputting to the chat. You'll get the output in your own frame. Only you and the DM will know what you're running. And toggle target all mode, and that's what you get when you're dominated. You can, if there's enemies only powers that you have, that will be overridden and you'll be able to select any tokens at all. So that's how that works. Toggle target state. Let's try that out. Basic mark. Let's use that as the state. We'll say okay to that. And we have the target state effect on us. What this is saying is it will only target tokens with the basic mark on it. So once you have this on you, let's bring Vanny back here. Even though he's right beside him, actually he's not, he's at altitude 0, but go with me on this. What's going to happen, it won't make a difference even if he was at the same altitude as Bony Guy Red. What's going to happen is it's only going to go after guys that are showing the basic mark. So once again, look carefully at this no targets found within range. It'll tell you why it failed. Yeah, it's going after every token, so it doesn't matter if it's a PC or NPC that you're attacking, but it's the target state is basic mark. So if it doesn't have any basic mark tokens within range, attack's going to fail. So that's how that works. Let's take that off. And it deregisters. Toggle targetability. This is for when you get removed from play for whatever reason. You are sent to another plane, or you are sent out of phase or something, and you can't be attacked. Do this. Click that, say OK. And we get plus 100 to our AC. If your AC is over 100, the choose targets macro will not be able to see you. It'll just ignore you, even if everything else is correct. So that's that. And that's usually automatic. For multi attacks, it'll employ that mechanic. So toggles, look at that. There's no basic radio menus here. Vanny is still at the regular menus because it's an individual toggle. It only affects Bony Guy Red. He's the guy that ran the radio menus toggle. So finally, toggle trigger suppression. This is for debug purposes. When you have a trigger event defined, and it's screwing up for whatever reason. The macro was badly programmed, and you don't want to run it, but you can't get to it for whatever reason. Your menus are locked up or something. Then we can do this toggle trigger suppression, and that disengages the trigger feature, and it won't run any triggers. So yeah, so that's how that works. So those are all the toggles that you can use. Thanks for watching.